Alright, so I didn't realize that the camera had died when I was laying under the back section here, just cleaning up the bottom of the trailer, or the bottom of the frame I should say, but all of that's cleaned up underneath now, which is awesome. And I also cleaned up all underneath the front as well, so it's pretty much ready to go. There's just a few brackets and things that I need to just clean off, and a few old bits on the side here. So I've got the cutting disc in the grinder, and I'm just gonna grind all of those off, and then it's pretty much done and cleaned up and ready to get the primer on and start looking at laying the subfloor. Alright, so the grinding is all done. It's all looking good, it's smooth, it's rust free, everything looks good. So now the next step is to get the plywood and also get the sealant on underneath as well, so it's going to protect the frame and the wood from the elements. Obviously the underside is going to be exposed to weather and rocks and things flying up whilst the trailer is driving along. So I've got some of this stuff here, which is called Stone Shield anti-chip coating. Apparently this stuff is the bomb. Basically it's a sealant, but it's anti-chip because it's got like a rubberized element in there. So I was going to use like a structural plywood with just like a weather shield paint, which is what you'd paint the outside of a house with, and it lasts 30-40 years or whatever. But the problem is that there's going to be a lot of rocks and things that'll jump up underneath and chip away the paint, and then water can get in under the paint, and basically then you've penetrated that barrier. So it's kind of pointless. So got some of this stuff, so give that a go. I'm going to go to Bunnings, get the plywood. Hopefully they can cut it into some smaller sheets for me, because otherwise that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. And then it's just a matter of cutting that out, putting it in there to check that all the sizing and the cuts are right and everything fits perfectly. Then I'll pull it out, give it a seal with this, seal the underside of the trailer, and then screw it and bolt it all down, so we're ready to go. Let's go get some wood. This is what we're using for the subfloor. This is a structural plywood going with 17mm thick, because anything thinner than that and it starts to become well, not as strong. So yeah, so we're getting a couple of sheets of this, and then I've got a handy little drawing here, just a whole bunch of scribble, but basically just working out different ways it could be cut so that we can just use a minimal amount of pieces to then fill and actually fit the van. So I've got all of the tools and stuff I need ready to go. Yeah, everything's sorted, ready to go, and so I'm going to start cutting this wood up and see how it fits in the van. Alright, so first piece is cut, all ready to go. Now for the moment of truth. Fingers crossed. Alright, so now that I've put all of the subfloor in, and you can see it all fits in nice. I've got a little bit of stuff to clean up just along this edge, just so that edge sits nice and flush, but it all fits well, which is good. Basically the next step is to rip it all out and then coat the underside with the sealant spray, and also coat the underside of the trailer as well. So just wanted to make sure that everything fit okay before I got to that stage, because I didn't want to go and spray things and then like have to recut the wood or something like that, because then you're going to end up having to spray it again anyway, because you've got an open face where you've cut, you know, had to make another cut. So looking good. Let's get sealing. Everything's done, sealing of the frame is done, wood is cut, everything fits good, the wood is also sealed, so now it's time to finally bolt down the subfloor and get on to the next phase of the project. So I'm going to show you guys all the tools and bits and pieces that I've got to make this happen, and then we can get it done. Alright, so drill, very important. Going to need that to drill all the holes and screw it all down. I've got a spare battery. I've actually got a couple more of them in the house, but it's always good to make sure they're charged before you get into it. Tape measure, I'm going to measure up a few things, make sure I don't just randomly drill it anywhere. I've got a shifter here, or adjustable spanner, because the bolts themselves are going to need tightening up, so I might actually need Courtney's help to hold that underneath or on top whilst I tighten it so that it doesn't just spin. Drill bits, so I've got just a little set here, just a cheap little set. They're good quality bits. I think it's about a 6mm that I need, but I've got some smaller ones in case I need to drill any pilot holes, so that'll come in handy. The actual bolts themselves, I've got 40 of these, and they are countersunk heads, which you can see gives them that angle so that they can actually be countersunk into the wood, so that they don't sit higher than the wood itself, they sit nice and flat. And this is what you need to make that happen. So this is a countersunk bit. So basically this just goes into the wood, drills down just enough once you've drilled the hole so that the countersunk, the actual head, sits underneath the level of the wood. And then of course, the most important thing, a green smoothie. You pretty much can't do any of this, none of this will work unless you have a green smoothie. So I'll make sure to knock the rest of this back while I'm working. And I need new gloves, as you can see. so there you have it. Subfloor is down. All looking good. There's just a couple more. I need to put in an extra screw on there and there, and on the side there as well, just because the steel underneath is not like a single flat plate. It's actually a rectangular piece, so I can't get a bolt through in the bottom, so I just need to get some Tech screws that are actually going to screw into the metal and hold it nicely, just to make sure those corner bits don't come up. But so this video is done, the subfloor is down. We're ready to move on to the next stage of this exciting project. Thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment down below as well if you have any questions, and also subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified as soon as we put up a new video. If you're new to this channel, we do have heaps of other videos on what we eat in a day, vegan adventures, vegan recipes, travel tips, all sorts of fun stuff, so check it out. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that usual stuff as well. So thanks again, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, have an awesome day. Peace.